Okay, so let's get back to what we're trying to do. We are trying to build a DataTables functionality to um, to go fetch the data after the server or after everything has been loaded. So the DataTables itself gets loaded, then it goes fetches data, and then it returns it. That's what we're trying to build. Right now, this works fine, but it's loading all 9,726 records. I'm interested in trying to build my own pagination using what DataTables can provide. That's fine. You closed YouTube. That's cool. Okay, so let's see here. What am I doing? All right. So we want to build this now. What's cool about DataTables is it does all of this for me. It needs all of the records. Oops, you can't see that. Let me fix it. There we go. And get rid of this for now and this. Okay. So DataTables is handling this on its own. It shows 10 records, 1 to 10, 9,000 of all of the entries. If I type in, let's go to this one because I'm just going to use this one. If I type in NE, I'm going to get 49 entries with the letters NE in them. If I do N, I get 198. So we want to replicate this in FileMaker. We want to, what do we want to do? We want to build a query that will go fetch any records that match the search that I am interested in on the page that I'm interested in. If I'm on page 3, then it has to show me pages 21 or records 21 through 30. Okay, so let's do that. I got a little further on in the last live stream, which I wasn't sharing my screen. So this is good fun. By the way, this is kind of cool. I can put a comment from YouTube up here. That's interesting. If I was doing this on Facebook, I wonder if I could add Facebook. I don't think I can add anymore. That's fine. Yay, Kyle. All right, so remove. All right. I would love to be able to take over their built-in pagination. All right, well, let's do it. So let's build this. So first thing we need to do in VS Code is turn on server-side option. True. The second thing we need to do is build a function that will call FileMaker and fetch the data. I'm using FM Gopher to do that. I'm using FM Gopher to do that from Josh Willing. It's in the, it's here. It's just FM-Gopher is a dependency. And I'm using it to fetch the data right here. Okay. And right now I'm just passing in a type. So I'm either passing customers or final admissions data depending on which button is pressed. The word customers comes in to the JavaScript from the button click, and final admissions data comes in here. Those happen to be, there we go. Those happen to be the names of the layouts, which that's what I was, that's the parameter that I was passing in to make this a little dynamic. Okay, so let's see what happens when I turn on pagination and I have this Ajax option here running a function. I want to see what this data is because the data tells me what is available. So I'll go back to this one here, reload it, and show the console. Here's what the console, we'll go over there. Here's what the console is, or here's what the data object is telling me. It's telling me the columns that are currently available in this table. I'm guessing visible. I don't know. I'll have to try that. Orderable, searchable. And it tells me, I think this draw property is in sequence, which search or which result needs to be drawn first. So if I were to type in NEBRA then there would be like 6 draws there, and DataTables would have to handle them in sequence. So I think that's what that is. Okay. The length is the page length that I have here. So I guess if I were to change that, then the data table, oops, the data tables changes to 25. The ordering, we're going to skip over the ordering right now, but it's telling me which column is ordered, is ordered, and the searching. Yeah, you're probably right. It probably will. Well, let's just do it. Let's just do it right now. So let's see here. I'm going to go into my JavaScript. I'm going to do a columns. I'm going to turn off company just for the fun of it. Okay, turned it off. And reload it. Wait, was that? That was customers. Yep. Reload it. Now I only have 3 columns. Data object shows. Oh, it does show all 4 of them. Why am I not seeing the word visible? You know what? I don't think it matters, because if the columns are included, even if they're orderable, even if they're visible, they can still be searched on. So that's what's cool about data tables, is it can search off of individual tables. The only time I would want it to not search off of an invisible field is when I turn the orderable nature off. So it doesn't matter if the visible property is here. That doesn't matter. What matters is it orderable, searchable or not? Okay, so doesn't matter about that. I'm going to turn the visibility back on. Okay, so this is going to help me, and all I need to do really then is extract out of that property, out of that data object, those values that I need. So here's the nope, that's the records. Here's the object. I just need to extract out the stuff that I need. All right, so let's do that. I'm still sharing my screen, right, Kyle? I'll never live that down. Wow. And I'll never forget it. All right. So here's how I'm going to do this. I am going to build a query. First of all, I'm going to extract some data from that in the JavaScript. I'm going to extract some data. Pull this down, make it smaller. I'm going to say const. You know what? I'm going to I want the draw. Start length equals data. Console.log. There we go. All right, so let's just see that. I mean, I'm pretty sure that that's not going to be a problem. Of all my problems today, I doubt that that's going to be one of them. There we go. Now there's a way, I forget, but there's a way to get this value out of this nested object using this destructuring. So I'm going to look that up quick. Where's my browser? JavaScript, destructure, nested objects. Actually, you know, before I do that, before I look at the documentation, I'm going to get rid of this. And I'm going to say, using Copilot, destructure the data object, getting start length draw and search dot value out. Okay, that didn't help. That's fine, but the search, that's not what I want. I don't want the search. So let me see if I can find the way to do that. So is it that? Name dot const name call sign. What? location. Is it that? Let's try that. Let's try this. Do search dot value. See if that worked. Perfect. That's what I want. So I can extract out of the nested object here the value, and that becomes a variable in play. So very cool. All right. Thought I could do that. Okay, so now I've got all those values. Now I want to build a query of, equals. I want to build a query that I can send to FileMaker. So I'm going to start with the layouts. That's the type. Then I'm going to use limit, which is FileMaker's way, and say that's the length. The offset from FileMaker is the start plus 1. I read in the documentation that the start value is 0 index based, so we have to add 1 to it because FileMaker doesn't handle index based or 0. Yeah, it's index based 0 based offsets. And then the query, I'll say it's an array. And I'm going to say for the first object, or for the object company name, that's just the field. We'll deal with that in a bit. And we're going to, we're going to do star and star. No, we're going to do star. Actually, we're going to do search value. This is what I did before. So I'll put my comma there. Let's go up here and create a search value. Const search value equals, if there's a value, use of the value. We're going to do this. We're going to do, sorry, I'm being crazy here. If there is a value, that is, if that value is not empty, I want you to use this. I want you to use this syntax. Oh, no, sorry. That doesn't belong there. So if there's a value, then use this syntax. Otherwise, use this syntax. We're going to say, if they've started to type a value into that search box, use whatever that is and put a star around it so that we can get those combination of letters anywhere in the string, in the field. Otherwise, just do all the records. I think so. So that's the search value. So let's console log that search value. Query, or the query. Let's console log the query. Go over to FileMaker. Boom. All right, so here's my query. And there we go. That's perfect for FileMaker. Makes sense. Good. Yeah. Okay, so that's perfect for FileMaker. Okay, so then all we need to do is pass that baby in. Query. And then over in, oh, you didn't see that. All we need to do is, rather than passing just the plain old type in there into this function, this function asks for the name of the script that you want and then what is the script parameter. So then rather than just passing in the type, I'm going to pass in the query. I'm going to pass in whatever I built here from all the stuff above. Okay, so now FileMaker, that FileMaker script is going to receive the query. So it's going to receive it right in here. This is part of FM Gopher to have these script steps up here. Those are necessary along with the last script step because this is where the callback happens. JavaScript makes FileMaker run. FileMaker does its thing and it gets a result back, and then it returns that back to JavaScript using this callback, this promise ID and the callback name. So I don't have that fully understood, but it's not necessary because it just works. Okay, so let's see. All right, so I'm passing the query in right here. The request is here. Now, I don't need any of this stuff because the request is coming from the query is coming from FileMaker. So all I'm going to do is say request is the parameter, just to kind of keep my syntax going. So the request is that full parameter. So the request will go in there. And then the result is, okay, so now this is where I'm gonna do something different. I'm gonna remove all this stuff. I don't need to parse out the data and the message because I need the whole thing. I need the data info and everything else. So I'm just gonna get rid of that and say whatever the result is, send that back to the JavaScript. Okay. So let's do that. Over here in JavaScript, I'm going to comment out this callback. This callback is what's going to make it's going to make the JavaScript render the data table. So I'll comment that out. And I just want to parse the result. I want to see what the result looks like. All right, so we'll go back to FileMaker and let's just debug this baby. I'm going to make one change in my load web viewer script. I do not need, it's not even in here. I commented it out. Okay, that's good. Okay, so let's watch this in debug mode and see what happens. The whole idea is that this query will be built and we'll go fetch the data. So boom, load the customers. And again, this is going to be the first run. So notice that the data tables gets loaded. That's perfect. And then immediately the fetch data thing is called. And let's see what the parameter looks like. Beautiful. That's great. That's exactly what I need. And the result, let's take a look at that. Let's do a format elements, JSON format elements. I really wish you could zoom in on this. So here are my 10 records. Beautiful. And it's telling me here down below, there were 206 records that matched your search criteria. I'm returning 10 of them. Great. Wait, sorry. There's a total of 206 records. I found 206 records, but I'm only returning 10 of them. Okay. Great. So now that should go right into the JavaScript. It timed out, so let me rerun that. Okay, so there we go. Beautiful. So now I just got to pick this apart and put the data in as well as all of the information from here that DataTables needs. And let's review what DataTables needs. DataTables needs. So here's the return. Here's, let's see. I don't know what this is, but we'll figure that out in a minute. Wait a minute. Return data. Okay, this is what I need to return. I need to send back to DataTables the draw, the records total, the records filtered, the data, and the error. Okay, great. That should be easy. So over in our JavaScript, I'm going to take the result back. Const results equals JSON dot. Oh wait, I already got it. Okay, so now I need to do const. Oh, that's interesting. What was it again? Here's what I'm trying to get to. I'm trying to get message response dot data and data info. Okay, messages. Okay, so let's try this. Let's do const messages. I always forget. I mean, response, RESPONSE colon. I want data and data info equals results. Oops, data. Oh, that's interesting. Maybe it doesn't like, maybe you can't do that. Nested, you can't do that too. So let's just try that. Oh, can't do data twice. Where am I doing data? Oh, right there. Shoot. Dang it, that's not good. All right, well, then I can't do it this way. Actually, no, I can't. So I have to do it. Let's just do it differently. Const messages equals result.messages. Const data or response. We'll do const data info equals response.data info and const new data equals response.data. Okay. Silly. Okay, good. All right. So you are using Execute Data API already and you're pulling out what you needed. Okay. So I've got this. So now I'm thinking through this. I need to construct an object that has draw records total records filtered. So I'm just gonna leave this up here for a minute and I'm gonna, well, I'll show you the code. So I'm gonna do this. Const return returned equals draw. I'm going to just do this for a minute. Draw records total, records filtered, the data, and optional. I don't need to pass in the error. I'm not going to. I'll pass the error in. Why not? We've got it in part of FileMaker, so let's just do it. Okay, so the draw value comes from what was up here. So we'll just get rid of this because the variable and the property name are the same, so that's good. Records total would be, what was it in FileMaker? Dang it, I lost. What was it in FileMaker? I don't have short-term memory when it comes to the names of variables. All right, so result. Okay, so let's get a picture of this. Data info. Actually, I could just do it here. So found count would be you know what, I'm just going to do this because this is just how I like to do it. Const found count, comma, returned count, total record count equals data info. I'll say records total is total record count. Records filtered would be, I think, returned count or found count. Records total and records filtered. Do I need anything else? Draw records total, records filtered. No, I don't. I need total record count. Is it capital T? Oh, no, you just, okay, total record count. Found count, returned count, total record count. We'll see what this does. If the numbers don't make sense, we'll fix it. And then the data would be the new data. There we go. All right, let's see what happens. Lowercase, I think, yeah. All right, so let's watch this in real time. All right, so go over to FileMaker, load customers. All right, so we got a little bit of an issue. Response.dataInfo, response.dataInfo. Okay, so that's undefined is not an object. response.dataInfo. So my line 39 is incorrect. How about we console log the dang result? How about that? Oh, you know what I forgot to do is const new result. I hate using the new word new. All right, let's try that. Boom. There we go. Okay, so let's try that. All right, can't find variable error. Okay, so let's just get rid of the error for right now. I just got rid of it in the... Okay, so we got something. Data. Oh. Hold on. Ugh, okay. Response. Where's response? Oh yeah, that's it. Okay. How about we console log this stuff first? This is where I'm starting to get loopy. So here's the... Yeah, this is correct. Let me run this again. I'm gonna just put all of my variables in there. Let's see what that looks like. Response is the object. Data info is an object. Found count. Yeah, this is correct. So what am I doing wrong? Console.log. I'm going to go over to the code and console log the new data. See what that shows me. New data is an array. Great. I don't have any errors. What's happening here? Oh, I'm silly. I'm not telling it to return anything. Gosh. All right, returned. There we go. Silly, silly, silly. Okay, let's try that. Boom. Oh, look at that. So awesome. So I've only fetched 10 records. Now, when I hit page 2, well, let's do a search first because the search is what I was working with. So if I type in N, the parameter now, or the request now in FileMaker is, see that? It's got an N in there in the company name. Did this run? Let's try this again. N. There we go. Oh my God. Oh, that's so awesome. So I've only fetched 10 records of 171 records, but FileMaker knew there were 171 records. It only returned the first 10. If I hit page 2, let's see what happens there. Page 2. Boom. Boom, 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 boom. Let's look at the request. The request is offset 11. That's correct. All right, let's let that run in real time. Let's load it again. Boom. Ah. Huh, interesting. 200. Oh, that's because I didn't do the... All right, so let's go back to the first page. Let's do an N. 171 records. If I hit page 2, that's fetching the records one at a time. or 10 at a time. That's pretty incredible. Isn't that awesome? Yeah, it is so fast. Granted, this is a local file, but it's only returning 10 records, so that's pretty cool. Now, very nice. It's keeping track. If I type in, let's see what happens if I'm on page 5 and I type in E. Okay, so it started over, and that's fine. I think that's what I'm okay with, is it started over with NE on the first page, and it changed that page, the page pagination. That's pretty cool. Oh, look at that. Now, here's the hard part, Kyle. And anybody else watching. The hard part is that we're only searching on, if we look at our JavaScript, we're only searching on one dang field out of all of the fields that I've got, right? So in order to get this to work, I would have to do, so really, actually, that's interesting. Yeah, that makes sense. So this NE isn't even searching in the state field. It's only searching in the company field because that's the only field that I wrote this for. If I were to change this to state, hard-coded as state, and then run it, NE, I'm only getting those 3 records. So now what I have to do, and this is not the hard part, but the more interesting part, is I have to take the columns that came as part of the data set. Where is that? And I have to pull out all of the field names from this array. Not that difficult. I don't like this fact that it's got field data dot. So I'm going to add something to my columns to make this a little bit easier. I'm going to put a name property. This is basically the field name. What's going on with that? There we go. Okay. Company. Wait, what are you doing? Oh, I hate it when it does that because I don't know. All right, so let's just do it. Name, city, and that way I can pull these out, and it makes it easier to work with. Name, state, capital F. FileMaker's not. I don't think FileMaker. I don't know if FileMaker is going to care. Do you know, Kyle? Is when it comes to field names, is it case sensitive in FileMaker? I guess so. Zip, comma. Okay. So now, when I run this, now when I run this over here in FileMaker, I get my data object and I get the columns and I get a name property. That's easy. My foster dog is like, oh, what are you bothering me for? Go outside. Walter, go outside. Walter. He only wants to go outside if I'm bringing him outside. Walter. One sec. All right. So now I'm going to just use my normal JavaScript skills to pull out the name properties into an array. Okay, so let's do that. Where's my data? Data is right here. I can say const columns equals data dot map call return call dot field data dot call dot name. Okay. And then I can do, I'll just do a const columns there just to see it. Got an error. Oh, did I do? Oh, no, I didn't do the right. Okay, I didn't do the right object here. Let's do this. I'm going to drag this. Hold on. Boom. just organize this a little bit better. There we go. I'm going to pull out the columns from this data variable. Columns. Sheesh. Oh my God. Actually, let me think about this. Yeah, I'll just do this. Used columns, I don't know. Would be columns dot data. All right, so let's console log that. Bring that down here, and then of course the new name. Okay, so boom, boom. So here are my used columns. Great. Now I'm going to take those and const. What do I want to call this? Query columns. Query columns equals use columns dot map. And I'm going to do another call property or item. And I'm going to say, I'm going to say return. Yeah, that's pretty dang close. Return. Yeah, call. And then search value. And I just have to put. My code is not organized very well. Sorry about that. So what this will do is create. What this will do is create a set of query objects that have the field name from this columns and the search value. So let's do that. Here's my query columns. It's exactly what I want. If I do an E, then that's exactly what I want. So I'm wanting it to search in each one of these. Now, we're not done yet because we have to say, well, what if they're not searchable? But we'll get to that. So query columns, perfect. So now all I have to do is rather than put the query in JavaScript, rather than hard coding the query, I could say query columns. All right, so now let's load it. If I type in NE, I'm getting 49 records, which is, I mean, I guess I would have to, well, let's just do that. So it's telling me 49 records. So let's go over to the FileMaker. I trust my FileMaker just a little bit more. I could say star NE star and do a new one. Oh, there's no address. So I'll get rid of that. There's no address in my data set. That. Oops, wait. I got to do it one at a time. New, do that, and then new, do that. There we go, 49 records. So that matches exactly what DataTables is returning. And E, that's great. That's interesting because if I type N and then E slow, it does each draw. If I type NE as 1, it just does one. Oh yeah, you think so? Let's try the zip code 09022. What? How is that? The other issue I faced with searches here is dealing with the data types, number, date, text, Boolean, etc. Well, yes, so you would have to have a field. Yeah, maybe. Because, well, how do you search for Boolean anyway in here? The data is 0 or 1, I guess, in FileMaker. So this seems to be okay. If I were to put this, I'm just going to mess up my data for a sec and put this in this record right here. KY. I'm going to actually copy this primary key. So load it and do 09022. There we go. Great. Okay. Very nice. All right. So the last thing we're going to do before I leave, because I'm hungry and my dogs need to be walked, is I'm going to prevent any of the columns that are not searchable from being included. So let's turn off, the state will be the easiest. I'm going to turn that off as false. So now I don't want the state column. So that's actually pretty simple. Where my columns are, I'm going to do columns.map, but actually before, no, I'm going to do this. I'm going to say columns.filter call.searchable there is no, here, I'll do this. Do not call.searchable. I don't know if this is going to work. .map there we go, .map return call.name. I don't know if this is going to work because we'll see. I'm going to go over to FileMaker. All right, so let's see if it picked up the right columns. I mean, I could easily just do the search, but oh, that's only returning the state. So let's try that. All right. What happened? Okay. That was a little slow, but we'll see. Yep. All right. So now that returned what I wanted. It didn't return the state because it's set to false. So this filter mechanism worked. I'm gonna do one more thing. I'm gonna just do this. I'm gonna, let's see, call.searchable, call. I'm gonna do call.name, call.name, and then just gonna shorten this up a bit. Doesn't like that. Huh, doesn't like that either, does it? Am I missing a... Huh. It doesn't like that. Okay, so I'll just go back to this. So I'm just stringing these together. Use columns. So I'm gonna change this to query columns and get rid of this one. I'm just stringing all three of the methods together. First, I'm going to filter to find the ones that are true, searchable. Then I'm going to pull out the name, and then I'm going to return the column name and then the search value. All right, that should work. Might be a little redundant, but let's see. Nope, got an error. Cannot access an uninitialized variable. Aha. Rule number one of, where am I? There we go. Rule number one of I don't need this, and I don't need that anymore. Rule number 1 of JavaScript. Beautiful. So now the state is not searched on. So if I type in NE, I'm going to get no records with NE in them. Let's turn that on. For some reason, I have the orderable false. True. All right. One last time. So there we go. There's no, oops. There's no NEs. That's interesting. Okay, so the searching is not working. The sending is not working. And I think that's because, oh, now I have to build the searching in, or the, now I have to build the searching, the ordering into this. So I think I'm going to do that on the next one because it's late. But anyway, we did really good with this. We now are building our own query. We're only returning the records that we want, depending on the page, depending on the length and all of that stuff. If I change this to 50, it's going to go fetch those 50 records. If I type in NE, it's going to fetch the 487, and there's no paging. Booyah, this is awesome. It's pretty awesome, isn't it? Love it. All right, so this is a lot of work, but it's actually not doable. And then it allows me to tap into DataTables mechanisms on the bottom and only fetch the records that I want. All right, so I went fast at this. Don't have a demo file. And this will be part of my advanced DataTables course. So don't pay attention to this too much. I'm kidding, but I'll maybe later tonight I'll do another stream on the ordering, and we'll get that working. All right, folks, good to see y'all. Thanks for joining me. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.